Hi guys, and welcome back to another video. If you don't know me, I'm Helen from Crafty So and So, and on this channel I like to make sewing tutorials, give you plenty of sewing tips and just tell you about what I've been up to recently. So within this video I'm going to be talking to you about 7 reasons why I think you should take a sewing course, whether this online or in person. So let's get into it. So number 1 is hands-on learning. Sewing courses are great for kind of giving you the opportunity to learn from watching somebody else and being with somebody else, and somebody else kind of running you through the steps, showing you exactly how it's done, being able to really see the micro focus within that kind of section of sewing. So somebody showing you how to, do a back stitch or even do a dart, you get to see firsthand the whole scenario, the whole picture, instead of just a micro bit that you might see on a screen. It also helps having somebody to show you the process as you go along. Like if you are pinching something or pinning something, it's all very much live action, and you can ask that person to go back and say, I didn't understand that bit, I didn't quite get it, or even having somebody else to say, you've done that bit wrong, I think this is where you're going wrong. And so having a hands-on experience with another person or people in general can be really good to help you see where you might be going wrong and where you can go right, and kind of the whole process of sewing in general. Teachers will have the basic knowledge of everything that you need to know as a beginner, and they'll have a multitude of other skills within sewing. So even if you are wanting to go into costume making or cosplay or quilt making, there's all these different things that these people will have. So you can find a more niche sewing course if you prefer, once you've got started on the beginner stuff. Number 2 is learning from others. So something I really valued at university wasn't just necessarily the teachers and the tutors giving me advice and showing me what to do and teaching me. It was what I could learn from others within the course. Obviously, when it comes to sewing, not everyone's going to do it the exact same way. Yes, you might learn that way, but you might not find that way the most smooth way. You might not be able to understand that way, but somebody else within that course might understand a different way, and they might have worked this out. So then you could learn that way, and it might be like a light bulb moment, and everything's just perfect for you and you understand exactly what's going on now. So that's something I really valued, because I learned something from each person on my course. I learned a new thing from them, a new way of doing something, a quicker way of doing something, or even a more efficient way, or, something. So being with other people, whether this is online or in person, you can still have the same experience. Yes, in person it's a little bit easier and it's better to find that connection, but you can still find this online. People are so helpful. People just want to share what they know and they've learned with other people, so you can still get the same experiences online too. Number 3 is create friendships. So again, something I loved at university was the friendships that I got out of it, and something I loved was the fact that I've got these friends for life. We talk all the time, we visit each other all the time, and this is just something that you might be able to create when going to a sewing course or being on a sewing course. I've never met somebody who's not nice when it comes to the sewing community. Everyone's always so friendly, so warm and so open. And so I think it's hard to find somebody who's negative or even, mean on purpose. And so I think you're not going to be able to go wrong when it comes to finding friendships and friends within the sewing community. Whether you decide to do a course at a college or a university or a local sewing shop or even one that's online, you're bound to find somebody that's a little bit more within your, on your radar. You'll have a nice friendship with this person. They might help you with something, you can help them. You can trade sewing patterns and things like that. And this is worth all the money you could put into a sewing course, because these kind of friendships last a long time and you could even create your own sewing circle once the course is done. Number 4 is hone in on your skills. So even if you have got past the beginner stage, maybe in the intermediate, or you're looking to go into something a bit more specialised, you might be feeling like you want to do patchwork quilts, you might want to do home kind of furniture and recovering furniture, you might even be looking at doing kind of like high fashion or even cosplay. There's a whole host of different kind of areas of sewing you can go into. So if there's something you're particularly leaning towards, you can always look at for a course that's in that specific field. And in that sense, you being able to find a course within that field you're wanting to go into is priceless, because there's so much you can learn from that person that's already in the field, already knows so much about what you want to learn and know. It's just a great reason to go on a course in the first place. This is also great if obviously you've got the real passion and the drive behind you, whether it's for business purposes or just a hobby purpose. Definitely think about going on a course that's within that skill set that you really want to have, because I think the things that general sewing is great, but then within the different pockets and kind of like niches of sewing, you can find more details about how you do things, how you can put things together, how things work, materials that you use, and different types of sewing machine you might need. So there's all these different like really micro kind of information pieces that you might need and would find fantastically amazing and eye-opening once you learn them. Number 5 is helpful for your mental state. So it's not something I've talked about before, but sewing can be something that people find soothing and relaxing, and it's something that is supposed to be soothing and relaxing. It's supposed to be able to give you a boost in confidence. Once you've made something with your 2 hands, you can show it off to somebody, give it as a gift, or even use it for yourself. And it's all these things that really help create a better kind of state for your mind. And I believe that going on a sewing course can really help this, especially if you are slightly struggling or you're looking to kind of make connections with people to kind of get yourself out of that like darkness that you might feel, or even just kind of feeling a little lonely. Something like this is a great way of just getting yourself out there and testing the waters. I found that when I was at university, having that group of people that I saw pretty much every day made me feel so much better, because I moved away from home, I felt lonely, I had things in common with these people, and it really helped my mental state knowing that I had somebody that I could talk to, or multiple people I could talk to, shoulders to cry on, and kind of people to uplift my mood when I wasn't feeling my best. And this is what a sewing course can do for you. You might be having a really bad day, your sewing project might not be going well, but there's going to be that group of people there that can lift you up, cheer you on, and be your personal cheerleaders to make you feel like you can do it. Renewed boost for the rest of the day. Number 6 is you can be unique. So this is probably one of my favourite reasons to go on a sewing course, because depending what kind of niche you want to go into, you can be unique doing it. You know, you can be as flamboyant as possible, or you can do pastel colours, or you can make something for you. And you can really just kind of let your personality out when it comes to sewing. Whether you're doing dresses and you're like frills everywhere, or making things into lace, or anything, you can be as creative as possible. You can make patchwork quilts that have got dogs on them and they're portraits, and there's a million things that you can do with your creative skills. And when you go on a course, especially if you're going for a niche course in the space that you want to go into, let's say patchwork for instance, if you want to go into patchwork and you find a course that's in patchwork, you can really hone in on your skills, and you can really kind of find your uniqueness, because someone's guiding you and giving you tips. They can then give you ideas, and you can be like, oh my god, I could do this and I could do that, and there's all these different kind of like things that could go off, and you've got all these like little fireworks going off in your head, and it's exciting, it's thrilling, and it really just gives you a good like glow for the time that you're doing it, and it really just energizes you to carry on doing it, because you get the good feeling, so you want to get that good feeling again, so you do it again and you do more, and this is what it's supposed to do for you. And finally, number 7 on the list is it relieves stress and improves focus. So something I used to struggle with was maybe being focused. And so when I was at university, being with all these other people, kind of working into the night with my friends I lived with that were also on my course, really gave me an energized kind of boost to get things done and work more. And you know, being within that atmosphere, it really made me like want to try more and get more done and really kind of be my better self, which is something you can really kind of get when you're on a sewing course. Whether it's online or even in person, you can really you could set up like a Zoom call so you're all sat together with sewing together, and then you can be like really energized because you're like, oh well, they've got to the next step, I'm gonna get to the next step, and you can be chatting away at the same time, and you can really create this really good community where you really just bounce off each other. You've got a really good energy and you really feel focused and driven. Sewing also is a known kind of hobby that helps relieve stress, you know, because you're so micro focused on what you're doing, your mind starts to break away from what it was focused on before, which was the stress and whatever caused the stress. So once you're focused on whatever you're making or doing, everything else kind of fades away and melts away, and you can just come back after that project and think, I don't know what I was stressed about in the first place. And so this is great because if you want to join a sewing course, that's another great way because you're with the people, you're with this person that you know who's teaching you. You've become very focused in on that project and that thing that you're doing, so your stress doesn't have space. So your brain doesn't have space for the stress to stay while you're trying to focus on the sewing project. So that will ease away and just helps you feel a lot more calmer, and you can just carry on and just kind of like, get it away and get it done, and it's gone for another day. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope it's been helpful. I hope it's been helpful for you to decide if you want to go on a sewing course or not. Obviously things are a little bit strange right now, but they will definitely pick up, and if you can do a course online, do a course online. If you can do it in person, then definitely do so, because those friendships are definitely important in making. Thank you for joining me on this video. Make sure you like and subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.